Now this one's kind of fun. You may not recognize it right away, but we're trying to solve this one obviously. But do you recognize what kind of equation it is? Well, it's a quadratic equation. And with a quadratic equation, we can try to determine if we can factor it. And this one does factor. This looks pretty normal so far. So I can factor to e to the x and e to the x. Because what is e to the x times e to the x? It's e to the 2x. Numbers that make a 3 that add up to a -4 would make it a -1 and a -3. From here, each term, so e to the x minus 3 equals 0, or e to the x minus 1 can equal 0. This one's fairly a little bit more straightforward. E to the x equals 1. What's the x that makes that true? That's an x equals a 0. So one solution is x equals 0. This one, e to the x, let's isolate the variable term by adding 3 to both sides. How do we solve this? They don't have the same base. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the log of both sides. We're going to choose a natural log because e is already in that format. So I'll take the log of e to the x equals the natural log of 3. And you remember what the property is when you have the natural log of e to the x? That's just the exponent of x equals the natural log of 3. So those are my two solutions to this particular exponential equation. Log 3, natural log of 3, and 0. And we had to see, how do we deal with this guy? Clever step 1 is recognize that it's a quadratic, and then we can factor that. And then, like everything we've been doing so far, is we're using logarithms to help us solve some exponential equations.